Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today's Informal Environmental Council is a special event for me, not only because it is taking place in Berlin, but because it is the first time in many months that I am meeting my European counterparts in person again. We are still getting together under no ordinary circumstances, and of course our talks will comply with the applicable coronavirus rules. Our Environment Council is being held in a large conference room which enables us to observe the distance rules. Some colleagues will be joining us via video link. The meeting is special for another reason too. In the European Union, we are in the process of formulating a more ambitious climate target for 2030, 5 years after the adoption of the Paris Agreement. The aim is to lower greenhouse gas emissions at a significantly faster rate by 2030 than we previously agreed. This goal has been reaffirmed by both the European Commission and in part by the European Parliament. In our meeting today and tomorrow, we will have a more detailed discussion on this, on the planned European climate law. We all have our sights on one goal: Europe as the first climate-neutral continent by 2050. This objective was endorsed by the European Council last year, and as such is the consensus of all member states. It is now a matter of drawing out the roadmap for achieving climate neutrality. Our next step is clear. We need to significantly increase the EU climate target for 2030, and I am well aware that this is an enormous challenge for some member states, especially the coal mining and steel manufacturing regions of the European Union. And that is why we will pay close attention to the measures the European Commission plans to use to reach its goal, at least a 55% reduction in greenhouse gas emissions compared to 1990. Tomorrow, Commission's Vice President Frans Timmermans will take us through the impact assessment for the 2030 target. My goal is to reach an agreement on an enhanced 2030 climate target during the German Council presidency. We are not the only one aspiring to be faster and more ambitious on climate action. As we learned last week, China has pledged to become carbon neutral by 2060. International climate policy is gaining momentum, and we are perhaps at a crucial turning point for the future of this planet. Two of the world's most economically robust regions, the EU and China, are reinforcing the effectiveness of the Paris Agreement, and we are showing right now, during the coronavirus pandemic, how we can both restructure and redirect our economies to make them environmentally friendly, climate neutral, and more resource efficient. By doing so, we are also sending an important message to all the countries that are suffering the most from the impacts of climate change. I now come to the second focus of our meeting, the global decline in valuable species and natural spaces. We know from scientific research across the globe that humans themselves are increasing the risk of future pandemics by destroying nature. And good nature conservation policy, on the other hand, is also a key preventive health measure. That is why in April I encouraged the World Biodiversity Council, IPBES, to compile and assess the global knowledge on this issue and make its findings available to policymakers worldwide. While this study is not yet complete, today we will at least hear about its initial findings. It is important to me that the EU sets a good example on this issue and that the world pay far more attention to biodiversity conservation. This evening, a UN summit on biodiversity in New York will be raising awareness of this matter as well, at the level of heads of states and government. And I now look forward to discussing these topics with my European colleagues and wish us all a very constructive talks. Thank you very much.